I can tell.
Your hair.
She's rolling. My hair?
Yeah, it's great. Leave it.
My hair is wild.
Yeah, leave it alone. It's good.
Beard's coming out.
Have you been rubbing those nails together?
Kind of hard on them.
Ay. Well, it's probably going to take us a while to just get ourselves together, really.
Yeah.
In this place.
Well, we did have a neighbor had a few new sprouts, he said, from rubbing his nails together. Yeah, he's got a new couple of sprigs.
Couple of sprigs. We had a hellacious rain here yesterday.
Oh, it's great.
And so we were just like feverishly trying to move all these paintings into the house. It was
the whole studio hadn't been tested for water yet. And it had a way. It was one of the bigger rains we've had anyway. It washed up under the doors of the...
Just a little bit, thank goodness.
Yeah, just a little. But it was enough to get all the part of the paintings in anyway.
It was a warning, I think.
Yeah. Coco's been trying to get me to bring all those things in. And we're talking about a lot. A double garage, absolutely packed tight against the wall and on top of each other. A hell of a deal. And she's been trying to get me to do it.
Wouldn't do
a gully washer to get me out there.
I mean, we just went through this. You'd think that you'd...
Yeah. But anyway, got them in the house. And then the other deal was getting them upstairs. And now that we've got them, we're going to put them downstairs as well. I was on this floor, so they're everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's good. And then someone else's dog out here got bit by a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
That was a heck of a deal.
Yeah, that was.
And the nearest vet is an hour away.
Yeah, the nearest anything is an hour away. I love it.
But yeah, the vets won't even work here because apparently they looked at whatever building was available and they were like, "No way, I'm not doing it." Come on, folks, where's your adventure? Where's your adventurous spirit? For God's sake! So yeah, you have to like gather stuff, because you're going to be without.
Yeah,
you have to drive an hour. An hour is not fun.
We haven't had a television since they went digital. And we never watch the news, and so there's always something new and frantic going on. People like getting gasoline and stuff. One month they're getting toilet paper, and the next month they're getting gasoline. And I don't know. If you're going to go down the road, you're going to have to pay the price of whatever the gas is anyway. It doesn't matter how much you moan and groan about it. It's always been, one of these things to be reckoned with. I remember when it was like, they had the gas wars back in the 60s and the early 70s. You fill up your car with $5. Well, that was good.
We had a couple of stations below us in San Diego when nobody was there. Or in a little Navy town. And one was 23 or 24 cents a gallon, and the other one would be 25.
Yeah, some of them have been giving it away to get your business,
Back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, well, it's always something, and I'm glad that it is. That means there's growth, it means growing, and
Who's growing?
hopefully whoever needs to be springing up, change is what I'm talking about,
Well, we have a difference of opinion on that. I don't like too much growth. What I'm talking about is like building buildings and all, raping the land and all
buildings. I'm talking about the price of gas.
Oh, okay.
You got to get over it, or walk.
Or change to something else.
Yeah, but if you got to go an hour to the store, you're going to be not complaining too much about it. You just get in your car and go get your groceries, you know?
Of course. But you have to plan ahead of time, really.
Yeah.
Because we did that, and then I forgot a whole bunch of stuff because I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah, that's all right.
Plus, we have a very small refrigerator, so...
Yeah, we're going to beef up our refrigerator.
We lived fine with it for a long time.
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun getting moved into this place.
There's different challenges, and I see people like, you know, they move out to the mountains, and they move... We're in a town, so it's a small town. But, you know, like, we're not in the sticks, people. A lot of people think that we're out in the middle of nowhere.
No.
We are, but we're not in the sticks.
Yeah, we have neighbors and everything, but they're all here for the same reason.
But I mean, there are challenges. I mean, I have to get used to being in a small town. Last time I lived in a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and word travels fast, you know. We try to keep the identity thing down, and that didn't last, you know.
You're in a small town.
You know, because everybody has the records and stuff, and, you know, at least non-Hispanics.
Oh, which reminds me. Okay, so you mentioned the records, right? So we've got your records, and you put them. It's great because it leads into our music room, and so they're on on the walls, and it's very cool. But I remember we had a neighbor in Austin, and he came in to meet us for the first time. He had no idea, I guess, anything about. So let me tell you, he walked into the house. We're in an old farmhouse, built in the 1800s, by the way. Much younger, older than this one.
First house in Austin.
Yeah, he walked in and he goes, "Aw, your cute little records." He thought they were fake.
Yeah. Where'd you get those?
He said, "Look at your cute little gold records."
Yeah, we didn't say anything. I didn't tell him anything. Let him find out. Let him suffer it to be so for a month or so.
I couldn't believe that somebody thought that. Somebody would actually.
Man.
I guess people do buy those and put them on their walls, or
yeah, I guess they do. You know, Keith Moon had a good. All of his platinum and gold albums lined the walls and the lid of his toilet. All right, they were on the ceiling and on the walls and on the lid of his toilet, downstairs, or it was one floor place he had Tara, and had a sunken living room. But
did you ever fall? Did you ever fall into his living room?
Huh?
Did you ever fall into his living room? Because that sounds like something you would do.
Tripped a couple of times, but I mean, you know, we didn't
mean.
go over to Keith Moon's house to read the Bible.
Oh!
We went over there to throw down and rock and roll and run amok and drive those cars in his yard. He couldn't. We tore his yard all to hell. He couldn't. They wouldn't let him drive. You know, had his license took away, but so he drove all over his yard.
Jesus.
Wasn't that big of a yard either, but it was a lot of fun. He was a fun guy, you know.
Well, how did you initially meet him?
You know, I swear to God, I don't know. I forget how it went down, but I had gone to America and did all that stuff, played those funky joints all over the place, you know. And then I decided I was going to go back to England, and I knew a guy that had been my driver for a while, named Dave Long, and I helped him with a driving service, you know, with roses and stuff. But anyway, when I went back to England, I think he was the one that introduced me, if my memory serves me well. If I'm wrong, I'll come back later, but anyway, I had Dave running me around trying to figure things out, and somehow or other I ran into Keith Moon, and probably was at a pub, and his mom and daddy owned one, but he said, "I got two houses. You need a house?" I said, "Yeah, I need a house. I don't want to stay in a hotel." So he took me into London. We drove to London, and down in Camden, and he had this place that had a moat around it, And I could just see myself getting in all kind of trouble, you know, there. And so that didn't work out. And so he said, well, let's go out. He said, I got one more place that you can stay at. Because I've got this place in Ascot and I was having it all done up. It was going to take several months to get that done. And he let me stay at this boathouse, but it was 4 round rooms and the glass was round too. And it was right on the Thames.
Oh, nice.
And houses up on the hill. And down there was the boathouse, and then there was a great Chris Craft wooden. You've seen them in the movies,
well,
you know.
We told the story on.
We tell the story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of me sinking the Mayflower. But yeah, well, anyway, we may have told it a long time ago, but that happened. I didn't know what the bilge pump needed to be done every day.
So you did he have a round bed and you woke up in a round room and all that stuff?
All of it, everything was round. It was going in circles the whole time I was there. I couldn't wait to get out of there. But we kept a good relationship. Yes. I was doing my nail.
Nail? You have a nail? I have no nails.
No, man, they're all broken.
Mine are all gone.
Move, you know.
Someone's watching you.
I know, she's methodically was pulling everything off the table. You know. She'll do it, look at her, see that? I told you.
So anyway, you were talking about Keith Moon and his mom and dad had had a pub, and if I remember correctly, you mentioned that you had a dog that ended up with them.
A little Jack Russell like her, looked like her.
Really?
But his name was Jake.
So why did you end up giving Jake to Keith?
I was coming back to the United States, and they loved little Jake, and I didn't know when I was coming back to England, and he needed to have a good home, and they wanted to keep him, and I said okay. So his mom and daddy they raised my little dog Jake. He was a fun little fella. He'd jump up in your arms, you know. Well, they're like little circus dogs, you know.
What did they think of their son? Do you know?
Well, he loved him, you know. Everybody loved Keith Moon.
I mean, he was a little...
You know, he didn't have an enemy in the world.
No.
And he went tearing through it too. You know, he was real generous.
Yeah.
You know, and genuine. And he wasn't hiding nothing or pulling any punches. And we had some really good times together. You know, I've told the story about going and him dressing up like a Nazi officer and walking in and drawing down a submachine gun on these guys and his wife and my girlfriend. But it was, of course, it was a replica. No, it was a real one, but it didn't have a firing pin in it. But he was something else. You never knew what was liable to happen, you know, when you was hanging around Keith Moon.
It's crazy.
Oh, God. And they were, my girlfriend and his wife were just out with friends, you know. They owned Granny Take a Trip, you know, and he found out about it and he thought for sure it wasn't right, you know, something was amiss, you know. Had to get to the bottom of it.
They were 2 gay guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I know a bunch of them. I better get quiet.
Perhaps. So did you and Keith play? Play musically? Did you do anything together?
Yeah, he couldn't. He played all that great stuff, and he could take a solo. Everything he played was pretty much a solo. But he couldn't play 2/4. He couldn't play that. No. He'd go. It wasn't. No, he didn't play that. He didn't play Al Jackson at all. No, he was.
But you actually tried working together or something?
No, well, I brought over my little my Stratocaster and my little pig nose, and we were going to jam one night, and it just didn't. It was a jam. It was like a traffic jam. Yeah, we're better off just hanging out with each other, and rather than trying to get together and jam, that didn't.
Right.
I mean, it's like all that my whole English experience was just a waste of time,
Well, it could have been.
Well, there wasn't anything else for me to do where the musical scene was. I guess I was, I couldn't play over there. There was nobody playing. Eric was laid up doing dope, and hell, I was just hanging out with Keith and.
Right.
That was probably, and then myself, myself. I spent a whole lot of time by myself.
That was probably enough. Just to
I watched every Benny Hill program there was, and Are You Being Served? And I mean, like, God Almighty, all
Faulty Towers.
Oh yeah, faulty. No, they didn't have wasn't Faulty Towers in. It was Monty Python, the beginning of Monty Python. And I watched tennis and Formula One racing with the sound down. It's because it was like my little friend in the corner,
Right.
But yeah, crazy. I just felt like I was just wasting my life, doing nothing.
Well, when Keith Moon, when he died, did that bother you at all?
No, it would have been different if it didn't expect it. But goddamn, he had an ounce of cocaine in his pocket, a bottle of champagne in the other hand. So no, wasn't surprised at all. Like Jimi Hendrix when he died, nobody was surprised at that because everybody was hitting it pretty hard back then, Right. And what was a surprise was that Eric and I didn't. Somehow or other, we managed to skate right through all of that,
That is amazing.
Come out pretty relatively unscathed, I'm paying for a lot of my misspent youth, but it wasn't misspent. It was just spent, I had a great time, I went tearing through the world and just had a fabulous time, Gave away everything. I did. What wasn't stolen, I gave away. Happy to do so. Happy to have something to give you. I didn't have those things. I didn't impress myself with all of that. That was just stuff I was having fun with,
Right.
Cars and guitars and all these things that I had, clothes and jewelry. And sometimes somebody's they got that look in the eye, and you might as well just go ahead and give them the watch, So I'm trying to keep them right, But no, I did. And I didn't have anything. When I left Mississippi, I gave away everything except what I had in my car,
And then
a dozen pair of boots and a dozen guitars. That was it. Clothes on my back. Some jeans. Started all over, And, boy, we've had a great life. We didn't stop. We've sang and played the whole time we've been together. There's nothing in our life but music and you and me and love, and that was it. Still that way. Now there's painting, but at least I'm not trying to chase down a dozen heifers in a Galloway bull,
No.
and 15 horses, and maintain a 300-acre farm. No. I didn't build that place to keep, I built it to give away. I knew she was going to want it, so I went ahead and just signed it over, to save us all the trouble. Oh, my goodness, And so we've been together now over 20 years, man. It's just great. We gave each other ourselves. That's what you and I did. Our love. We gave each other our love, and money can't buy that, And then it's just evolved into this almost like a fairy tale, That's what a wonder our life has been,
If you guys could have seen all these gorgeous, they look like
martingales.
I think they're martingales.
Yeah.
But they look like swallows.
Yeah.
Just circling
the sky
over.
Was all over us out there.
They love this house.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place, and they were sort of like
They're
swirling around us.
Beautiful and blue.
Yeah. It was
And blue. They come back every year.
And they're a bunch of nests over.
Yeah, we have a bunch of nests, and they're all flying around because they know they can stay, and we're not going to run them off or anything,
It's really beautiful.
Yeah. Thanking us.
Thanking them.
Yeah. Kashi?